What is going on YouTube and Raider Nation? This is Return to Excellence Sportscast Live, and this is your host, Marcus J. And I know I said I would be back later on, maybe even catch you tomorrow, but we're going to do a quick post-game reaction here to the Raiders defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-17. Anybody who watched knows I covered the whole game. I did the live commentary, etc. But I wanted to do a post-game reaction, give you guys my opinion, my views on how the game essentially broke down. And to be honest, it really kind of played out exactly how I said. I mentioned it during the live stream that in the preview show that I expected this to kind of be like a slow-paced game, a defensive affair. I didn't expect a lot of points to get scored, and really a lot of points didn't get scored. It was 23. It was 43 total points that was scored. And the funny thing is, as I said, that would be the total points in this game. It's just I had to still scoring 20 points opposed to our 23 points. We ended up scoring 3 more points than that, obviously, and the Steelers obviously ended up scoring 3 points less than what I predicted. Be that as it may, total for this game was still only 43 points, which means, as you can tell, wasn't a high-scoring affair by any means possible. But it was a good game. It was a competitive game for most of it. In the second half, though, the Raiders really turned it up, especially offensively. They made the right adjustments. I kept saying in the first half, I'm like, we keep beating ourselves. And that's exactly what we was doing. We kept beating ourselves, and that's the reason why in the first half we had to settle for 3 field goals as opposed to having 3 touchdowns. This game could have got even worse or could have been out of hand even more so than it basically did in the second half. Because really in the second half, it was a landslide. The Raiders totally dominated that second half, etc. But with that being said, in the second half, Derek Carr, he played well in the first half, but in the second half, he just played on an entirely another level. The Raiders' defense continued to play and look very, very impressive under Gus Bradley. This defense, I'm excited, man. I really am. This defense looks fantastic. No doubt about it. Like, they're getting pressure on the quarterback. We're getting turnovers. We're getting great coverage. We're not giving up a lot. We gave up the one big play to Claypool, but outside of that, that was it. Usually we were giving up big plays left and right. We didn't give up any, especially today. But we did our thing. We did what we were supposed to do, but this game played out exactly how I thought it would. It'd be slow pace, more of a defensive battle, but in spurts, both offenses would have their moments. And that's exactly what happened. Another thing I said in the pregame show is that Derek Carr was going to have to throw a lot in this game because we lost Josh Jacobs. We had signed Peyton Barber. He, obviously he got a couple touches as I predicted today. Kenyon Drake, he didn't really produce much. It's a very good Pittsburgh Steelers defense and front seven. That run defense is pretty good. So I didn't expect us to really run the ball a lot today, and that's exactly what happened. We passed the ball a lot more than we ran the ball, but we ran the ball when we had to. But talk about the passing game. The passing game was just on point. It was phenomenal. Derek Carr was phenomenal. Derek Carr connects with Henry Ruggs for a 61-yard bomb, shreds the Steelers' defense, going 28-37 for 382 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception. And before I move on and talk about the Raiders' defense, I want to note that Derek Carr has become the first Raider to throw for 817 yards in a 2-game span. That's the first time a Raiders quarterback has done that in history. That's impressive. He's playing at an MVP caliber level right now. And people say, oh, it's only 2 games. In these 2 games, he's played lights out. Against the Ravens, he had an interception. It was a tip ball. That wasn't his fault. And today, he damn near looked flawless. He was definitely a lot more consistent passing the ball today than he was against Baltimore. And against Baltimore, he started off a little bit rough. But against Pittsburgh today, he was efficient all game long. Excuse me. The only issue is we could not get the ball across the end zone. We kept settling for field goals in that first half. In the second half, different ball game, and Derek Carr was on a completely different level, a whole nother level. He had our offense moving, and then on top of that, we were not afraid to go for the big play. I said it. the key was in this game and from here on out is to start trusting these young wide receivers. Henry Ruggs, you drafted him in the first round with the number 12 pick. He was the first receiver taken out of that draft last year out of a pool, a litany of wide receivers that the Raiders could have took. Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, just to name a couple. We chose Henry Ruggs. And I said it in the first 3 quarters of the game against Baltimore, Gruden needs to stop being scared to use his damn young wide receivers. Throw the ball to Bryan Edwards. Throw the ball to Henry Ruggs, especially Henry Ruggs because you used the first-round pick on him. We got to develop trust in these young guys. Otherwise, they're never going to develop properly. And since the fourth quarter of the Baltimore game, Chucky has been doing that. Henry Ruggs finished the game with 5 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown, catching that 61-yard bomb. And it was a perfect pass, and that was a perfect route ran on that play. That was fantastic. It was incredible. It really was. And that's what I want to see out of this team, especially offensively more. I want to see us take more chances down the field. We have the talent and we have the players to do it. So we should be doing it more. So now I'm going to move on to the defense. The Raiders' defense once again looked impressive, only giving up 17 points in this game. And once again, like I said, they only gave up one big play, and that was the big pass play down the sideline to Claypool. That was it. That was really it. And what, to Deontay Johnson? I think there was one to Deontay Johnson earlier in the game. So maybe 2 decent pass plays that went over 20 yards. Other than that, we did not give up the big play like that, and we didn't allow the Steelers to really get much outside of the points they scored. We didn't allow them to find that level of consistency offensively. Our defense played well enough, and we had consistent pressure on Ben. We had consistent pressure all game. So, you know what I mean? Our defense, man, I said it. All the Raiders fans out there. I mean, there's a lot who were skeptical about Gus Bradley turning this defense around. And I have been beating that drum since he got hired, that this was a good hire, a great hire. And we're starting to reap the benefits early from that. So far, we see it was a good hire. You cannot tell me as a Raider fan and sit there and look at this defense through 2 games and tell me that this isn't a far better, superior defense than we've had in a long time. It is. They're stuffing the run. They're covered. The coverage has been great. We're not giving up the big pass play. We're closing out on. We're tackling a lot better. Like, you cannot tell me that in 2 games you don't see an improvement with this defense with Gus Bradley as our defense coordinator. You can't tell me that you don't see the improvement already. We are greatly improved on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, the main thing that I've always said, why the Raiders will not get over the hump, is if we don't get a good defense. And right now, as of right now, through 2 games, this defense is looking like it's finally going to be good, you guys. Like, it really looks really, really good. We're getting tremendous pressure on the quarterbacks. And then, let me tell you something. This isn't nothing to sneeze at. The AFC North is a fucking great division. The Steelers are a playoff team. The Ravens are a playoff team. And the Raiders just went in at home and on the road and beat both these teams. Dominated the Steelers more so than we did the Ravens. We had to come from behind to win that game. But my point is that the Raiders, it just seems like we finally may have turned that corner. I know it's Marcus, we did the last 2 seasons, we were 6-3 and 6-4, and then we collapsed. That's because we still had that same shitty defense. And I was saying it at the beginning of those last 2 seasons. Yeah, we looked good the first half of the year, but if this defense don't get it together, we're going to miss the playoffs again. And each time I was right. I don't feel that way no more about the defense. I feel like, we made the necessary adjustments in terms of getting the right defensive coordinator in there. We don't look at a position like we used to no more. We have guys flying to the football. You see it almost every time. Even when we make a tackle, we're trying to rip at the ball. Excuse me. Whew. We're always trying to rip at the ball. We're trying to get our hands on the ball. In 2 games, the Raiders have 3 turnovers forced. What, we had how many total turnovers forced last year? Hell, I'll even look it up. Look it up. Like, this defense could not. Everybody knows it. Every Raider fan out there knows it. This defense just couldn't. They couldn't stop anything. We couldn't get no turnovers. Nothing. Anything like that. Nothing. Coming into the season, we were ranked 27th ranked defense coming into this year. That's how bad we've been. That's 5 spots below dead last in the league. I'm going to be interested to see what our defense ranks through 2 weeks under Gus Bradley. I'm going to have to check out that tidbit, check out that stat here. Probably Tuesday, when everything gets updated and the week is over. But be that as it may, Raider fans, hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. How impressed are you with this new Raiders team? First 2 games of the season, especially the defense. And I say new Raiders team because every year you got new fresh faces coming in. You know what I mean? But especially on the defensive side, hit the comment section. Let me know how impressed you guys are with the Raiders defense, as well as how impressed are you with our quarterback, Derek Carr. Come on, guys. Give the man his flowers. You can sit there and say, well, Marcus, he took us to the playoffs. You can't expect a quarterback, a great quarterback or a good quarterback, to take any team to the playoffs like on a consistent basis or at all if he's not getting help from his defense. If we are giving up more points than we're scoring, most chances are not you're not going to the playoffs, guys. But come on, this guy just did this to this Steelers defense, who I just said was probably the best defense in the league. Because that defense is really, really good. It's a really good defensive team. And Derek Carr does this to him, especially in the second half. Derek Carr does this to him in the second half. You know what I mean? Throws over 200-something yards and completes about 70-something, 80% of his passes. He was already being efficient in the first half. We just couldn't get the ball across the end zone. But in the second half, different ball game. He was just on another level. Derek Carr was just on another level. And Raiders fans, come on, guys, can we stop hating on our quarterback, please? I keep trying to tell you guys, when we get a good defense, that's when this team will be better. And so far through two games, we look like we could be a playoff team. We do. Our defense looks really good. And if we can maintain this level of consistency and confidence throughout the entire season, I promise you, Raider fans, we will be back in the postseason, and we will be a threat. All right, guys, I'm going to talk about my MVP of the game. And for me, it was both Derek Carr and the Raiders defense. Like I said, Derek Carr, he played a phenomenal, lights-out, MVP caliber game. He just did, especially in the second half. We were doing a good job pretty much moving the ball all game, especially through the air. It was just we couldn't get the ball across the end zone, like I said in that first half. We just couldn't. We made the adjustments needed in the second half. We made the adjustments that we needed to offensively, and we was able to put some touchdowns on the board. Derek Carr played lights out in this game. And that Raiders defense, like I said, guys, getting pressure to the quarterback, being aggressive, not missing tackles, being there as soon as the wide receiver catches the ball, not allowing him to get out of their grasp, etc. We played solid, very solid defense. And this is what the Raiders Raiders fans have been clamoring for a long time now. And I hope that we can keep this level of consistency up. I said it in the pregame. The key for the Raiders defense is to maintain that confidence that was obtained when we got those turnovers and was playing as well as we played against Baltimore. Just limit the scoring. And that's exactly what we did. We brought that confidence that we brought from that Baltimore game because our defense won that game against Baltimore. I said it in the pregame. If we bring that confidence into this game, we should not have a hard time stopping the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Pittsburgh Steelers is a team that does not have an offensive identity right now. And that's exactly what we did. Exactly what we did. We maintained that confidence that we left with in Baltimore. And we came in. We were stopping the run at the point of attack. They could barely run on us. They couldn't get nowhere. Their best plays, you know what I mean, were a little 5, 10 yard, not even 10 yards, like 5-yard hitch routes. And every single time, most of the time, we had a defender. We had a defender right there making the tackle, not giving up much of anything. I'm really, really impressed with this defense. And I'm really, really impressed with my quarterback. I've always been impressed with my quarterback. Every good, great player has their bad days. But Derek Carr has always been consistent for us mostly. Mostly he's been consistent. We've had some of the worst defenses a quarterback can ask for with him. Our defense hasn't even cracked the top out of the top 20 since he's been our quarterback. Let that sink in. And through 2 games under Gus Bradley, this defense looks like it's legit. It does. So if you count it, in 2 games, the Raiders defense has given up a total of 44 points. So that's an average of 22 points a game. That is 10 points below what we were averaging for the season last season. Now, granted, it's only 2 games in. I understand this. But you cannot tell me, like I said, as a Raider fan, you do not see the improvements that Gus Bradley has brought to this defense. And I'm excited for it. But I want to know your opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about today's game, guys. How impressed were you with the Raiders defense? How impressed were you with Derek Carr? How impressed were you with the team as a whole? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think, as well as don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. The support is greatly appreciated, as well as if you want to make a donation to the channel, the donation link for my Patreon is in the right-hand corner of my YouTube description. Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up for today. That was my post-game reaction for the Raiders defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-17, and now improving their record to 2-0 on the season. So, guys, like I said, hit that comment section. Let me know what you guys think about today's game. How impressed are you with our team, as well as what do you guys think is going to happen from here on out in terms of how serious do you think the Raiders? How serious do you think the Raiders are through 2 games on a scale of 1 to 10? How for real do you think the Raiders are? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But I'm going to get out of here for today, guys. This is Return to Excellence Sport. Sorry. This is Return to Excellence Sportscast Live. I am your host, Marcus J. I am out of here for today, guys. Everybody have a safe day. God bless. And remember, just win, baby.